Welcome everyone. I hope you're doing well. In this video, I'll try to cover the whole, the whole Neutron configuration part. So at first, what we need to do here, uh, we need to add a new interface network adapter. So let's go into the controller. In our case here, I have two network adapter. This one is bridged. It is custom VMnet 0. This one is NAT. So for NAT, it is giving me a new virtual private IP, but I'm gonna work on a bridged one, so I can configure the IP address. So what I'm going to do here is I'm gonna add new network adapter, then I put custom VMnet 0, all is good. Okay, I'm doing the same thing for the compute node. So this interface will be the provider one for the Neutron. So as you can see here, here is the NS38. Let's configure it. Let's configure that. Okay. Okay. Mm. So I'll change the DHCP from dynamic to static. So what we need to do is we need to edit the netplan file, netplan, netplan. Okay, we need to add DNS 38. Match DHCP. Let me check. So in our case here, we have the ID 0. So we need to add the ID 1. ID 1. It will same work as here. So I'm gonna add this again. Okay, we need to change this 38 DHCP for false. The address in our case here, the IP address is 30 130. This and the same gateway. So if we do netplan apply, I have problem. Mm. ID 0, ID 1. Okay, I think my problem is that I I pressed tab, so I think this is ID 1 instead of this. Let's try this. It worked. Error. I think it's already good. Non-fly problem. All validating default route. Let me check. Net plan ID 1. All is good, I think. 7. No. Oh, it is manual. Nice, nice. Wide connection net plan. Wire 2. We go. Okay, let's ping. Okay, it is working. It's working. All is good. So the same structure of code of script here. We changed only the ID 0 to be ID 1 and the name of the interface, which is in our case here NS38, and the IP address, and we kept the same gateway. Okay, so we'll do the same work for the compute node. We will add another network adapter. It will be custom VMnet 0. Connected. So if you go the NS38, we will find the same thing. In IPv4, it is getting the address IP dynamically. So what we will do here is we need to change it. etc netplan 01. Let's add the same thing here. ID1 NS38. In our case, 31. All same gateway ID. Okay, let's netplan apply. If you see this is the, it is not a problem. Nice. So now we'll move into Neutron configuration. So the first thing, on each component that you are going to configure, we need to create the database. So let's, on the controller node, MySQL root. This is to use the database access client to access the database server as the root. Okay, so create database Neutron. Now we give the privileges the same process of the other previous components. Identified by password, same here, identified by password. Okay, now what we will do, we need to source as admin, so so we can type our Openstack commands. Let's create the Neutron user. So Openstack user create. We put the main default and the password to be password prompt, and Neutron. Name of the user will be Neutron. Now we will type password. I'm using password in my case. Okay, so now we need to add the admin role to the Neutron user. So we will do the OpenStack role add, OpenStack role add project. It will be service, since the service project is for the admin. Service and user will be Neutron. We'll add it to admin. Okay. Now to create the 3 API endpoint, we need to create first the service entry. So open stack service create. So name will be Neutron. Description will be OpenStack networking. Network. So just to show you, OpenStack endpoint list. For now, we don't have the Neutron service name, but we will make it right now. So network. Okay, now we're gonna create the endpoint. So let's copy paste. So this is for the public one. This is for the internal. This will be for admin. So to continue now, let us check. You can see the Neutron added successfully. So to continue now, from documentation, it says that you can deploy the networking service using one of two architecture represented by option 1 and option 2. So option 1 deploys the simplest possible architecture that only supports attaching instances to provider, which is external network. No self-service. Self-service means private networks, routers, or floating IP addresses. Only the admin or other privileged user can manage provider networks. Option 2 augments option 1 with layer 3 service that support attaching instances to self-service network. The demo or other unprivileged user can manage self-service networks, including routers that provide connectivity between self-service and provider network. So the router here will make is the thing that we need to do. We need to configure so it can manage uh, redirection from internal to external. And also additionally, floating IP addresses provide connectivity to instances using self-service network from external network such as the internet. Okay, so in our case here, we're gonna pick the networking option 2, self-service networks, and let's configure it together. So we have two options here. We have the Linux bridge and the Openvswitch, but we're gonna work with the Openvswitch uh, since it has more features than Linux bridge, and it can be it is scalable in terms of configuration. So we need to install the components. It will be Neutron server, Neutron plugin, ML2, Neutron Openvswitch agent, Neutron L3 agent, and Neutron DHCP agent, and the Neutron metadata agent. So all these components will be installed on the controller node. Okay, let's install them all. Okay, I have a process locked. So what we need to do here is we need to shut down uh, the port of the process. Okay, so what we will do here is simply need to kill that process. Let's type ps 469. Okay, sudo kill 24. I think now we can do our installation. No. Okay. Do another one. Look, looks unattended. Let's copy this. Is it over here? Oh, sudo no such process. Wait for. I think the problem is this. No such process. I will look for it. Let's try the other port number 963. Okay, so let's try to install again. Nice. Okay. So now we need to edit some files. Let's clear this. So delete etc neutron file and neutron.conf. Let's go into to database section. Change this by MySQL connection. So neutron to be password. Let's go to default core plugin ML2. We will only add the service plugins router to be router, and we will add the transport URL for the RabbitMQ to be password to, and the auth strategy will be keystone. Let's go into keystone auth token. So we will add same lines. This will be password service for project name. This is for admin. Default password controller auth URL. I'm gonna add the v3 over here. Taking notes about changes that I'm making them manually. HTTP controller. Okay, now let's go here. Let's go back for default. We're gonna add the notify Nova on port state changes to be true, and notify Nova on port data changes to be true. Now from default we go to Nova, and we're gonna add the auth URL v3 password for auth type default version 1 service Nova password is password. For Oslo concurrency, we'll add this line log path. Now the neutron.conf is configured. Now let's move to the to etc neutron plugins ml2 ml.mlconf .ini. So in ml2 we're gonna add type drivers. We will add 3 types: flat, VLAN, VXLAN. In our case here we will work with flat and VXLAN. Okay, so we'll add the tenant network network types. We'll work with we'll enable the VXLAN self-service network. And for mechanism drivers, we are going to, since we are going to work with Openvswitch, we need to add Openvswitch. If we are working with Linux bridge, we type here Linux bridge like this, and the installation won't be the same. So instead of installing Openvswitch, we'll install the Linux bridge agent. So we have here Openvswitch, and now we're gonna add the extension drivers for security, and in this section ml2 type flat, we are going to add the provider flat network equal to provider ml2 type VXLAN. We'll add the range Okay, so ML2 is configured. Now let's move to the Openvswitch file. So etc Neutron plugins ML2 Openvswitch agent file. Directly we go into to OVS section. Here, what we will do, bridge mappings. Okay, so here we'll add the provider, and we will add our bridge new interface that we just added the NS38 to be configured for the Neutron for the Openvswitch. So here we will put NS38, and we will add the local IP. So local IP will be for internal communication between nodes. In our case here, it is in NS37. So what we will put here is we will put the IP address. It will be 192, 168, 124. Let us check. So the NS37 is 12.424, and the other one is ENS38. We just put put the ENS38 in the provider for provider. Okay, bridge mappings. Okay, all's good. Before this, I think I made mistake here. So yes, since we are working with Openvswitch, we don't get to put the NS38 over here. We need to add a provider bridge name using the vsctl command, and the port will be NS38. So we're gonna create a bridge, and after that we're gonna assign to that bridge a port, and the port will be the NS38. So let's do that, and then configure this interface. Okay, so let's create OVS vsctl add bear. Let's take any name, bear provider in our case here. Okay, now OVS vsctl add port. We add the BR provider. We're gonna assign it to a port. So provider, and here we put the NS38. Let's do that. Okay. So what we will do here now, we will put BR provider here instead of NS38. Sorry, BR provider, because we are working with an Openvswitch agent. So this is how it works. BR provider, and this BR provider is mapped to the other to the NS38. Okay. I will come back to the same file. Forgot something. Now we move to the agent part. Tunnel type, it will be VXLAN. Okay, security groups now. Security groups will add enable security group true, and the firewall driver will be Openvswitch. Now the Openvswitch agent file is configured. Let's move to the L3 agent file. So etc Neutron L3 agent file. And default section will add interface driver to be Openvswitch. And let's move to the DHCP agent file, etc Neutron DHCP agent. We'll add uh, only 3 lines. Interface driver, same thing. It will be Openvswitch. DHCP driver, it will be Neutron agent Linux DHCP DNS mask. Enable isolated metadata is true. And uh, all the components now on the controller node are configured. So let's now go and configure the metadata agent. So for the metadata agent, we have the metadata agent file. It is in etc neutron metadata agent.ini. Just on the controller side, on the default section, we'll add the Nova metadata host. It will be this host, it will be controller, and we'll change metadata proxy shared secret. We'll set our metadata secret, metadata secret. Okay. Now we are going back to the Nova because we will need the Nova to work with the Neutron so we can launch our instance. So let's edit nova.conf, and in the Neutron part here we will add some lines to auth URL. I'm gonna add here the v3 password, default region 1, project name service, username Neutron, password it will be password, and service metadata proxy is true. So we need the secret. It is metadata secret, I think. Yes, metadata secret. Now we need to populate database for Neutron, and ml2.conf. Okay, let's type this command. It's clear first. Config file to see newton.conf, to see newton plugin. Okay, let's populate the database now. Restart the compute API service, Nova API. Let's restart all the networking services, Neutron server, Openvswitch agent, DHCP agent, metadata agent, and we will restart the Neutron L3 agent. Okay, so the networking now is configured. Now let's go into verifying this. So to verify all this, we need to only tap Openstack network agent list. As you can see here, we have the metadata agent, L3 agent, DHCP agent, Openvswitch agent, state are up. All is working on the controller node. Okay. So before we continue, we need to configure the compute too. So on the compute, we will have the Openvswitch agent. So let's do that. Let's go to the compute node, and we'll install the Neutron Openvswitch agent. Okay. Now we need to edit some files. We'll edit first neutron.com file. We'll add the transport for rabbit target URL, rabbitmq password. To Oslo concurrency, we'll add the log path again. Okay, now let's go into, now we're gonna configure the network option 2, which is self-service network. So let's do this. To say Neutron plugin number 2, we go to the OVS part section. Okay, let's add the same thing here. So it will be for local communication, as I said. So in our case it is NS3725.25, and the bridge provider bridge name will be let's add it OVS VSCTL add bear provider provider OVS VSCTL add port bear provider. It will be on UNS38. Okay, so now we put here bear provider. Now we can go to agent part and add the tunnel type, which will be VXLAN. L2 population is true. Same for security group. We'll add the firewall driver, which will be Openvswitch. Okay, so now we are going to configure the provider provider network. All is good. Let's continue then. So on the compute node, let's go to nova.conf etc nova.conf. Let's go to Neutron part, Neutron section here. Let's add all this. So auth URL, we'll add the v3 password or type service Neutron. We'll change here password, only password. And let's restart the Nova Compute service, Nova Compute, restart. Let's restart the Neutron service, Openvswitch, agent, start. Forgot Neutron here. Ready to restart. Not found, I think. Okay. Now what we'll do is we need to verify on the controller node I need to see the Openvswitch agent on the compute node. So let's do this. So it works without any problem. So as you can see here, we can see the compute with the type of agent, which is Openvswitch agent is added, and the controller can see it. Okay, so now let's move to the instance uh, part, where we will cover how to launch an instance, how to attach the instance and give it an SSH. So after that we can access the instance and do whatever we want uh, on that instance. So this video has come to an end. So in the next one, we will cover how to launch instance. Uh, and thank you for watching. We'll meet again.